Dark Lost Media, Volume 1. Reaction. Pee pee poo poo. Pee pee poo poo. I think I'm gonna get spooked.
On April 25th, at
This is like some Shane Dawson level quality content.
15 years old, shot and killed a 17-year-old boy with a revolver.
WXLT TV channel.
Yo, thanks just another dabber.
Lost media is a topic that I have been enamored by.
I don't even know what
for
lost
years,
media
and
is.
have
Just like
surprisingly
media
not
that doesn't
formally
have
gotten
access.
into.
People don't have access to
The
anymore.
thought of disturbing TV broadcasts, audio and VHS footage that have been lost to time is fascinating, and the links that people go to find them is incredible. So much dark and disturbing content
That's
has
cool.
existed even before the internet, and the aim of this series is to dive into them, their search, and their
Plagued
stories.
Mouth? No, I
because,
don't know what that
as
is.
it turns out, some of the darkest lost media out there seems to have always existed.
Shawty got that Yo, thanks, Blue. Black Hole Sun music video we like. Yeah, right? The face. We got a whole Marvel Cinematic Universe intro. This is a goddamn movie, dude. 43 minutes. Jesus Christ. Hard to find. Oh. That's kind of cool. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Maybe looking like the Wizard of Oz, yeah. Tape 1. This shit looks kind of scary. Is this made by the, it's like, Mama Max videos. Quality.
The following is a presentation of the Christian Television Network.
Oh, feet! 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 I didn't realize it was children's feet. Christians love feet? I believe it. I believe it. Oh, this is a Christian one. Yo, Jesus shit is like... This song goes. This song fucks.
Join us for a half hour of
That song
fun and
fucks.
games at Joy Junction. Now here's Sheriff Don.
That song fucks. Holy shit. I'm already getting pedophile vibes.
1980.
1980 was like when you didn't even have to hide being a pedophile. You were just like, everyone was a fucking... I'm just kidding. But seriously, it kind of gave me that vibe, dude. Everyone was being a fucking creep. I'm not gonna lie.
Casting on the Christian Television Network.
Am I lying or am I being honest? It's pretty true,
It's
right?
textbook public
Look at this
access
motherfucker, dude. I'm just saying. Maybe I'm making an assumption, but you know, you're right. Yeah, I am right? Like, I mean, fucking even Elvis Presley was like fucking meeting a girl and then marrying her, like meeting her at 14. You know what I mean?
Set at the eponymous village.
Steven Tyler, didn't he like fucking date some freaking? Kiss some. You know what I'm saying?
Hosted by the town
There's a lot of
sheriff.
sus shit.
Throughout the show's lifespan, the town residents would join in.
It
for
still
educational
happens, but
bits
back
about the
then,
Bible,
bro,
and
it's
kids
like
were
they weren't even
encouraged
trying to
take
hide
part in
it.
various games. It seemed to have been pretty successful during its time.
Yo, this show kind of
as it
looks
was
like
on the air for a few
interesting though.
years. Bizarrely, nearly every record and archive of this show ever existing have been wiped though, merely leaving us with a handful of surviving re-uploads on YouTube.
Interesting.
This has, admittedly, made it
This isn't
difficult
on
to
Hulu?
find any further information about Joy Junction, aside from what we can distill from the existing footage.
Dude, some
But
Christian
that's
like
okay,
old school shit is like the
that's not the main
scariest.
reason we're here anyway.
Hi, everybody. What's happening?
Oh God.
Good to see you. Oh, I've been waiting.
This is like eerie.
Oh, I'm sorry I got tied up, Marty, but traffic was heavy and the stores were busy. You know how it is when you go shopping.
One of the show's cast members was a ventriloquist by the name of Ron, and he was present in nearly every
I have a feeling that wasn't the only thing he was putting his hand up.
episode,
Okay, I'll shut
joined
up.
by his doll Marty.
Sorry.
Back. Well, I did come back, didn't I? Yeah. I told you I
Yo,
would
bro,
come
looking
back,
like the
didn't I?
Riddler.
Yeah. And I'm sorry.
Typically, they'd have a quick conversation about whatever the topic of the day was, and it, at least in the surviving archives, appeared to serve as a bridge between two segments of the show.
Yo, that puppet looked like it would be in
Ron's full
Goosebumps.
name was Ronald Brown, and in the years following the show's eventual end, he'd launch his own puppeteering company out of Florida called Puppets Plus. On his website at puppetsplus.com, we can observe a myriad of their clients, along with the age groups that he was primarily hired for.
Whew, Here's the
ages
problem.
2 to 5,
Yeah, that's the problem.
and 6 to 11.
There we go.
Now, at
Jared
first
from
glance,
Subway.
this seems par for the course in his profession. Children's entertainment was his forte. However, it's when we back up and take a look at Ronald as a person when things begin to sour. You see,
All right. Who in chat thinks that Ronald might possibly be a pedophile? Type 1 in chat if you think he is. Type 2 if it's something else. I'm going to type 1 in the chat real quick. I'm just assuming. Is he a pedophile or not? Da-da-da-da-da. It's like a game show. 100%. There's only one I don't know. Are you fucking kidding me? Yeah, everyone's fucking typing. All right, let's figure it out. Let's see. I don't know. It might not be.
throughout the years, Ronald
Have
had
you
a
seen him?
strange dynamic with children. For instance,
Okay,
in
he literally
1998,
said strange
he was
dynamic
pulled
with
over
children.
for a traffic violation and was found to be in possession of boys' underwear. His excuse was that he used them for
All right, you guys all win. I mean, this isn't really something that you want to win, but you win.
his puppets, and he was eventually let off.
God fucking damn.
Other complaints came throughout
Sus.
the 2000s about him giving rides to kids in his church van. Unfortunately, police could never do much because there wasn't any explicit crime being committed.
Jesus
It
Christ.
was incredibly strange, but unfortunately not enough to warrant any sort of arrest. Where things really get nutty though, is when we jump to the early 2010s, in which Brown would find himself caught in a web of controversy.
Holy shit. I never saw that coming. Yeah, right? Dude, I never saw that coming. What? Dude, this is like Mama Max videos, though. Like, this is like crazy content. Who is this made by? That's it. Boys' underwear? I know. What the fuck, dude? That's sexist. At least have girl underwear in there. I'm joking. It's not good to have anyone's underwear. It's a joke. You can't joke about that. Sorry. I was programmed wrong. So I was
In May
doing
of
what
2012, a man named Michael Arnett was arrested after a sting operation. He was charged with the production of
All right, this guy has CP. Do you think he's a pedophile? No, I'm just kidding.
Upon searching his home and computer, they
We're
would
not playing
find
that
chat
game again. They
logs
already
on
gave it
Yahoo
away.
Messenger between he
It's
and
actually
a
kind of
person
sad though.
going by the name
Yeah, this is hella sad. Of course, 100%. It is actually sad for sure. It is actually sad. I hope you all understand that. It's fucked up.
E. Lime. As it turned out, Arnett would produce these images and distribute them to various others online from the username CK3666, Sweet Talker Linda, and Calf Keeper 2.
Calf keeper.
You'll notice that UE Lime was outward about their desires. They expressed interest in cannibalism, torture, sexual
Cannibalism.
assault, and
All right, be honest, chat. Would you try cannibalism if you wouldn't, like, if just for like, if they seasoned it and shit? Be honest. Yeah, me, I wouldn't either.
of it was directed towards children,
No,
even
of
as
course
young as
not.
2. The catch here, though, is that UE
Maybe.
Lime
Okay.
wasn't just
Somebody's
a random
open-minded.
person. It was Ronald Brown, his secret online alias in which he'd express his fantasy about the kids
made
he
his, like-
surrounded himself with daily.
Is that actually?
Let me remind you that this was a man whose entire career, entire life, was centered around associating with kids. Someone who was, at one point, on television in front of thousands. To say that these chat logs were a bad look
Oh, this is the same
would be
guy.
putting it lightly. And yes, the messages you're seeing are straight out of the official case file.
Whoa. These are kinky. Yabba dabba yikes. Johnny would eat another human? No, I just am like not opposed to it. Come on, don't be
After
weird.
corresponding with Yahoo.com, authorities were able to track down Ronald Brown and tie his username to a profile on a necrophilia website named cutedeadguys.net. Ronald's profile has been lost to time. However, through his own case report, we're able to find details describing it. On this site, His bio read, I love them young and dead. I enjoy them fresh, but like to see them displayed in their casket too.
Well,
And a few
that makes
snippets from
sense.
his post history. I like the blonde boy. Would love to snuff him. Very hot pics. That boy looks dead. I like that one.
Oh God.
I'd love to kill them.
Whoa, dude, this is like, this is a little like, usually like things are okay, but this is a little far. This might be the limit, okay? You know what I mean? This might be like little past the line, you know what I mean? Once he said he wanted to kill them, you know what I mean? That's a little, no, I'm just kidding. Everything's been far. Are you kidding me? Everything's fucked up. Everything in this is fucked up.
It's
I'm
safe
just joking.
to say that at this point, there was more than enough to warrant an arrest. And on
This weird shit
July
happens
19th of
everywhere. It's crazy.
2012, that
Nowhere's
notion
safe.
would finally become a reality.
Nothing is safe.
Federal marshals arrested a Largo man for possessing and conspiracy.
I think it's so annoying that YouTube doesn't allow you just to say those words. You have to use like CP and shit. Like you can't just say it, even though it's like you're not like making a joke of it. You're like educating people on situations. I think that's kind of annoying. I wish you could just like not have to worry about that.
Kidnap a child. They say he was a puppeteer who performed for children in the Bay Area. News Channel 8's Yolanda Fernandez has been following this story for us. She's joining us live tonight from Pinellas County.
Well, Keith, 57-year-old Ron Brown is here in the Pinellas County Jail tonight. Federal investigators say it was his gruesome and very graphic online chats with the known...
Brown's house was raided, and scattered across his home were pictures of kids being tied up, and even some that appeared to be dead.
Oh wow.
Furthermore, agents found CDs with much of the same material, a blow-up sex doll dressed in boys' clothes, a journal he kept about his fantasies.
Well, this shit's
dating
crazy.
back to 1978, and even books about serial killers and cannibalism.
So this guy
He
was on that
eventually found
TV
guilty
show.
of
So
possession of-
I really wish we could find the footage of that old like shit because a lot of it's like gone. I'm kind of curious of what the fuck like was going on during that show because they wiped it all. Like there's little clips, but they wiped it all. So it kind of just makes you wonder like I don't know, just like I know like you couldn't change anything, but it's just like kind of interesting. It's like what the fuck? Like was he being weird on the show even? Could you even like tell if you actually look for it?
to 20 years.
I mean,
in
besides
federal
just the way
prison
that he
with
seemed
a
weird.
lifetime of supervision thereafter. Had he lived
This
out
guy's
his full
fucked up.
sentence, he would be out sometime in 2033. However, as of August of 2020, it's reported that he is now deceased.
Good.
My
Good.
heart goes out to the children who had to suffer for the pleasure of this monster and all of those who associated with him. For his entire life.
Should I call
he was
that number? Should I call the number? Do you guys see the number? I'm gonna call it. Should I star 69? Is it star 67 or star 69? I'm gonna star 67. Alright, I'm calling it. Oh shit. It's obviously not the number anymore, but I just want to do it. I think it'd be funny. Or actually, it's kind of scary. Alright, I got the number.
Thank you for calling TBN. If you are calling for prayer, please press 1. If you are calling to give a donation or request a ministry resource, please press 2.
Wait, it actually... Should I hit 1?
Thank you for calling TBN's...
Hello, thank you for calling.
What? Wait, what the fuck? Wait, people still use that number? What the fuck? I'm so lost. What the fuck? Who is that? Like a different company? This is it. This is the call. This is what I called. We're TBN. Oh, so it's just TBN. That's all I called. Oh my god. That's... Dude, that shit's... What's this guy's name? Should I ask them about it? No, I'm just kidding. I don't know if I want to. I'm kind of scared. What is this guy? Hey, I was just watching something about how one of your people was like really fucked up and killed a bunch of kids and did a bunch of creepy stuff. I All right.
He
Anyways,
and knew what he was doing.
I don't. Yeah, they
His
wouldn't.
career, his church fan favors, his company parties,
That was
all
sketch.
a front for some of the darkest desires
The
imaginable.
lady answered. I did not expect it to go to
I
anything.
understand why Joy Junction's records were wiped. It was a show with a good premise and good intentions. I won't deny that. However, now bears a reputation forever stained by the devil, hidden within them.
I asked them about Joy Junction. Dude, that was scary. They answered at 11:40. That's kind of crazy. God never sleeps. That was scary. I think it's just like a normal, like,
The year is
the whole
1928,
broadcasting
and a
website.
romantic disaster
But it was,
film
like,
about
weird,
Noah's Ark
though.
hits theaters. Directed by a man named Michael Curtis, it premieres during a transitional period between silent movies and talkies, or films with actual spoken dialogue. Because of this, it's mostly regarded as a hybrid film with long scenes being played over music, and with it comes a healthy dose of extensive criticism. Most of the backlash is due to its runtime, clocking in at a whopping 2 hours and 15 minutes long, with considerable portions containing awkward dialogue and drawn-out scenes.
Noah's Ark,
Sitting through this
1928.
movie is, to put it lightly, a considerable undertaking. Because of this, the film is pulled for revision, and the cut content is never shown again.
Okay. That didn't really tell me anything.
A good portion of the cut footage came from what the movie is mostly known for today, and that's the flood scene.
Is it tight? What's the flood scene? Jesus. Are they not wearing any pants? Put some pants on.
In it, we can observe a slew of actors fighting their way out of a crumbling temple and towards the ark to stay alive.
They probably did this
It's
legit.
a grandiose set with a lot going on, and keeping in mind the time period, all of this was pulled off with practical effects. These people were, legitimately, submerged.
Oh, they actually dying?
Some
they?
might consider the acting here to be pretty well done. Like I said, this scene is grand, and due to the time period, was all pulled off practically. The thing is, some of these actors weren't actually acting, as during this scene, 3 actors drowned and 1 reportedly lost their leg.
Jesus.
This was the result of over 600,000
Fuck.
gallons of water being dumped across the set.
No shit.
Something that the film's extras were reportedly unaware of. It's been reported that, before filming commenced,
As long as they got
Michael
the shot,
Curtis was
though.
warned against putting so many people in danger. However, he shrugged it off, claiming that the extras were expected to be prepared for anything, and that, quote, they're just gonna have to take their chances. In the original cut of the movie, it's rumored that you could see these deaths happen on screen with a
I'm
much
sure
more
you
fleshed
could.
out flood scene.
Yeah, I'm sure you could.
However, since the revisions, that original version is forever considered
Jesus.
lost.
That's dark.
It's rumored that Curtis was in pursuit of relentless perfection. He wanted his movie to be grand and authentic. However, in this chase came a loss of life that did not need to happen, leaving Noah's Ark forever stained with an enduring legacy
Yeah,
of
that's
tragedy.
That's not very Christian of you. Let's let people die because I don't want to be safe about things. Yeah. Hey. Or maybe that is Christian of you. I don't know. Maybe it is. Who
Searching
knows?
for a website, a window to the world, got to get online.
Take a spin, now you're in with the techno set. You're going surfing on the internet.
Fuck.
On the 2nd of July 2014, an ad was made on Craigslist.
Here comes a scuff one.
It came from an 18-year-old girl named Brooke Slocum and was but a simple request for cash.
I need $50 by 3:30 p.m. I can pay.
I need $50 by
Oh.
3:30 p.m. today. I can pay you back later tonight, but I need gas and some mess quick. Everyone has bronchitis at my house, and I do not want to get sick. I'm 8 months pregnant, and my lungs are all squished as is. If you could help, me and my daughter will greatly appreciate it.
This post remained untouched for 10 days.
$50? Go on Fiverr.
At 10:08 p.m. on the night of July 12th, Slocum receives an email from a man going by the name Mike's Hard. I can host. What are you thinking? I'm 25. This was a reply to other separate ads that Brooke made around the same time period in which she would solicit sex for money.
Oh.
According to her friends, it wasn't willingly.
Oh, dude, look at this. It says, pierce the veil, Mayday Parade, and Fallen in Reverse. What does that mean? I might be a tad shy. Is she talking about music she listens to? Dude, it was an emo. Dude, it was an emo. No. Another one, Fallen. Dude, they might have watched My Digital Escape. Fuck.
As her then boyfriend, 25-year-old Charles Oppenheer, would coerce her to do this while accompanying her during these meetups. Reluctant, Slocum responds 20 minutes later.
Well, we're looking for donations if possible. Kinda in a tight spot, and we have a baby on the way. As far as the fund goes, though, there won't be any mail.
How does $120 sound? I can drive you over here if you need.
Wait, so is he like trying to buy
We
sex?
can travel, just can't host is all.
What is
when
this?
And where would you like to meet up?
120 for sex?
In a park around
Oh.
11:30. That okay?
That's sad.
I don't know. I don't want to get in trouble for indecent exposure or anything. I can't go to jail being 8 months pregnant.
Jesus Christ, guys.
It's cop free. It's a park, but behind it there are lots of woods.
Oh my god. This shit's so sketchy, bro. Like,
this last email arrived at 10:59 p.m.
So sketchy.
And as we can see, Mike's Hard was keen on meeting that same night. Needless to say, Slocum ended up accepting, and their trip to Kazan Park in Wyoming, Michigan was on.
Is this the guy? Looks handsome. I think that's a gun. I have a feeling that that cage isn't for dogs.
The couple arrives, with Mike pulling up shortly after. Initially believing this to be another sex meetup, the two approach Mike without much concern. Sometime during the next few minutes, Brooke is grabbed, bound, and shoved in.
So her husband shows up with her, or her like boyfriend, and like he's like allowing her to get fucked for $120. Damn, that's sad. But then this obviously happens where she gets kidnapped. Sad.
Into the trunk of Mike's car. In haste, Charles tries to help, however is unsuccessful, resulting in a violent altercation between the two. It's unclear how long this fight lasted. However, what is certain is that during this, Charles was violently killed. Mike drags his body near the woods.
Yo, guys, be safe. As safe as you can. People are fucked up. This isn't like just, this shit happens.
Saws his head off and covers the remains.
Because you might have your head sawed off.
And without so much of a single witness, he jumps in his car and, alongside Charles' head and Brooke Slocum stowed behind him, drives off into the night.
They probably didn't get their $120 still.
After realizing that Oppenheer's car had not moved in days, police began probing on his whereabouts. When asked, his parents drummed up nothing, his work nothing. No one knew where he was, but his car was there. And so they began searching the park on July 17th, 5 days after the incident with Mike's Hard. Upon scouring the wooded area that lined its back end, they then discover a headless body under some brush. And it was later identified as Charles Oppenheer.
Jeez. Sag.
In the coming hours, it was realized that Oppenheim wasn't single, and his girlfriend, too, was missing. In haste, authorities obtained a search warrant for her apartment and began searching her laptop. On it, there were a myriad of conversations. However, one thread from Mike's Hard stood out among the rest. The Internet Crimes Against Children Unit was called in for analysis on the real name behind the alias, and they found that this address was tied to another email which was tied to a Facebook for a man not named Mike, but Brady Ostrike.
Jesus.
They stake out near his home while they await a search warrant. There wasn't enough evidence for an arrest warrant by this point, so that was a frustrating roadblock. The hours tick by without much happening. However, around 9 p.m. on the night of July 17th, Brady would be spotted jumping into his car and leaving his home. A few moments later, he's stopped by a nearby officer. Before they could get to him, though, he takes off, leading to a grueling pursuit.
Oh, they're chasing him?
Eventually, he loses control and crashes into a cement barrier.
Oh shit, he sucks at driving.
As the officers pull up for apprehension, however, he on the head and falls forth to his death.
Well, that's good. He shot himself.
A few seconds later, police approach and search his vehicle. In it was 31-year-old Brady Ostrike, dead in the front seat, and in the trunk, stuffed within a suitcase, was 18-year-old Brooke Slocum and her unborn daughter, both of whom were deceased.
Damn, bro.
Upon searching Ostrike's home shortly after, they discovered a plethora of ropes, knives, swords, cages, straps, and bizarre writings that make little to no sense at all. His toilet was inoperable, and the entire place was nothing short of rancid.
That's fucking dark.
Most interesting of all, however, was the discovery of cameras. As it turned out, he had them all over his home so he could document his actions. And what you're seeing here is Ostrike as he prepares the basement he kept Slocum in for those agonizing 5 days.
Oh my god, bro, it's so scary.
There exists footage of Brady Ostrike's grueling torture of Brooke Slocum. However, you'll never see it. The police department has gone on record to say that they will never release it, however describe it as something straight out of a nightmare. During the time
I'm sure it's the worst.
And even when police were right outside the home, she was locked in handcuffs with a chain around her neck. Reportedly, Ostrike had bound her arms to the ropes hanging from the ceiling and left her dangling while he sexually assaulted and tortured her before strangling her to death. All of this was captured on film.
Oh.
Years
Chips
later,
Ahoy, that's what you got out of
Oppenheimer's
this?
head was found off some
Chips Ahoy.
backwoods 17 miles north of Gizon Park. It's a chilling end to a disturbing online saga and really drives home the fact that you really...
Yo, it's good to know about this stuff, guys, because the shit happens, so you got to be really, just extra cautious, not just, really like go with your gut on certain things, because these situations are real and like people are evil. There's a lot of evil people, and this is educational. It's fucked up. It is, but you got to be like extra smart because, if not saying that she, but like logically, you probably shouldn't go meet somebody on Craigslist to have sex with them. It's just probably a bad idea. It's pretty sketchy. Not saying that makes this okay at all, but you got to be extra smart. Stuff is bad.
Really don't know who it is you're meeting with on Craigslist, dating apps, OfferUp, what have you, until you actually come face to face.
It's fucking sad.
What began as a simple request for just $50 had led to the loss of 3 lives following a days-long nightmare orchestrated by a depraved man. The torture footage is, as of 2022, considered indefinite lost media that may never see the light of day.
Hopefully
However,
not. I don't want to see
considering
that.
what exactly it entails,
Sounds like the worst
I don't
footage.
think we really wanted to.
Yeah. The poor fucking people that had to watch that to fucking, look over it. Yikes. That's rough.
Coast is the one. Coast Federal. Win Armstrong for Coast Federal.
WXLT TV, Channel 40, Sarasota, Bradenton.
We're with you on ABC with you.
The year is 1972, and a reporter named Christine Chabak.
I mean, I don't know if her
literally lands a
boyfriend
job at
manipulated her into
WXLT
it.
Channel 40 in
They didn't
Sarasota,
say anything like
Florida.
that. But
Initially
maybe.
hired
I
as
don't
a
know.
reporter, she was reassigned to a spot named Suncoast Digest, a local affairs segment that ran at 9 a.m. every Saturday. During her time there, she'd become attracted to a fellow reporter named George Ryan and would seek his attention by baking him cakes and expressing a desire to hang out. When she realized that he was already romantically involved with another coworker, however, it was detrimental to her self-image, as Christine historically had difficulty finding love. According to her family, she'd
Why
gone
is
on
it all
dates
in
with various
Florida, is
men
it?
throughout the years, however had trouble connecting socially with them. On top of this, by 1973, Chabak underwent surgery to have one of her ovaries removed, and as a result, her doctors began to pressure her, claiming that if she wasn't able to conceive within 2 to 3 years thereafter, she may never be able to.
The following program is brought to you in living color on NBC.
Super spy Fred Flintstone is off on the trail of the mysterious green goose, a master of
Tonight we begin with the death of a man armed with scissors. He was shot by police
Edward Scissorhands.
24 times.
Do something. Get him to do something about the problem. Meantime, they say they're going to back the leafleting up with a meeting this Friday with city and state officials.
Good evening. More than 100 people were reported dead in a plane crash near New York's Kennedy Airport this afternoon. The plane was an Eastern Airlines 727 nearing the end of
As 1974 approached, Chabak witnessed a shift in news methodology. Christine always had a desire to pursue what she believed to be high-impact stories about issues affecting the community. However, WXLT executives were leaning more towards stories that were juicier, per se, utilizing fear and sensationalism to drive viewership, in turn generating revenue. The news she was tasked with reporting began to shift further and further towards spectacle and shock, and she frequently rallied against this to no avail. Resultingly, she became stuck in a mindset, in a world that she was growing to hate. Her professional life, her personal life, everything around her.
Good evening, I'm Steve Newman, and this is Channel 40 Weather Watch. It's going to be even cooler tonight than tomorrow night than tonight. The reason for this, with the passage of the cold front today, when we picked up some showers, skies have cleared very nicely. And as a result...
On the 15th of July, 1974, Christine enthusiastically entered the station. Instead of opening Suncoast Digest traditionally, however, she claimed that there was a newscast she had to read to open it.
What's with the weather guy's haircut? This guy?
She takes her seat at the news desk, and for the first 8 minutes, opens her segment about 3 national news stories and a shooting that took place the day prior. Following this, a film reel of the shooting was supposed to play, but had jammed, leaving a few moments of dead air. In response, Christine apologized for the error before taking out a script she had handwritten and reading to the viewers the following.
Following audio is believed authentic and was discovered. Oh my god, this is gonna be fucked. Is Steph's Christian final minutes would oh Jesus. If you'd like to skip no, I'm not guys, I'm not gonna skip it, okay? Anybody that's watching. So if you're watching this, guy, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna check it out. I'm scared, but I'm gonna check it out.
Statistics. This weekend, being typical of the recent rash of violence, saw one man stabbed, another assaulted, and a third shot and wounded. Sarasota police report the finding of an 18-year-old, a man by the name of David Wynn, in the parking lot of a Friendly Tavern on 27th Street. Wynn had an apparent stab wound in the chest, which, according to witnesses, was inflicted by James Whitworth during a fight. Police charged Whitworth with aggravated assault. Wynn is in satisfactory condition at Sarasota Memorial Hospital. The second attempted armed robbery in a week has involved law enforcement officers from both Sarasota and Manatee counties. Last week, teenage gunmen held up the highway bar and, after a shootout and high-speed automobile chase, held a family hostage and finally were nabbed by Sarasota Sheriff's deputies. Early Sunday morning, the Beef and Bottle restaurant north of Sarasota Bradenton Airport on US 41 was the site of an attempted armed robbery and shooting. TV40 newsman Bob Peterson was on the scene shortly after it began, and he filed this report. Sorry, for those of you who saw Late Night Weekend News Watch last night, we did have a film report and a commentary by Bob Peterson. Unfortunately, we had technical difficulties and cannot bring it to you now. However, News Watch tonight at 5:30, and we'll have that story for you then. As of this morning, Grace Foster, who was shot in that incident, is in satisfactory condition at Sarasota Memorial Hospital. In keeping with the WXLT practice of presenting the most immediate and complete reports of local blood and guts news, TV40 presents what is believed to be a television first. In living color, exclusive coverage of an attempted suicide.
At this moment, Christine drew a Smith & Wesson revolver that she had hidden in her bag, placed it behind her right ear, and fired, immediately falling forward onto her desk. In a frantic response, the tech directors quickly faded the broadcast to black and scrambled to play a movie.
She sounded so normal. I don't know why she...
Calls
That's so
began
weird.
to flood in, with viewers questioning the authenticity of what they just witnessed, with some believing that this was just a morbid joke or a prank.
No.
However, it was far from it. She was rushed to Sarasota Hospital, and back at the station, the news director,
I thought they were
Mike
gonna play a
Simmons,
gunshot
discovered 2 pages of
audio.
a script left behind by her. The first page contained what we heard prior. However, the second was a follow-up intended to be read by a third party.
Why would it be a
Christine
panic? People don't
Chibuk,
know.
During a live broadcast, she was rushed to Sarasota Memorial Hospital, where she remains in critical condition. Surprisingly, Christine's prediction turned out to be correct, not only because she was at that very hospital, but because she remained in critical condition for 14 hours until her eventual death. Christine's body
because she was rejected by the dude?
Gulf of Mexico,
Oh my
walking
God.
in a life full of despair. To
Jesus.
those around her and to her loved ones, however, an agonizing void was left that would forever go unfilled.
That's Jesus.
Reportedly, only one tape of this incident existed and was kept by Bob Nelson, the station's owner. After his death, his wife Molly would inherit it before handing it over to a law firm for good. As of now, this is where it lies, and for the foreseeable future,
She loved him. I mean,
may
I
never see the light
don't
of
know.
day.
I think more than that, she had some deep fucking issues. I don't, couldn't take rejection. Yeah, but like, I don't know. That's like she's got a lot of issues deep down before that. She's obviously not mentally stable enough to love somebody at that point. If you're gonna shoot yourself on live TV because somebody doesn't want to be with you, that's pretty fucking dark.
We will return after these messages.
Good morning.
To preface this last entry, I'd like to state from the outset that the following could be absolutely nothing. The answer could be completely mundane. However, the footage in this section has personally stood out to me because of how bizarrely out of place it is and how little info there is about it. I was gonna put it in the next disturbing things, however, I think it fits better here.
Breakfast. Burger King? This is happier. I like Burger King,
It's
kind
the
of.
1980s.
More than just bullets in the head. Sometimes feelings are just so deep that they make you feel worse. Yeah, I get that, but like it's just fucked up though. Like, I don't know. Just saying that she obviously loved him or whatever. It's just like, yeah, I mean, I guess, but like, you shouldn't like be like, oh, she loved someone so she killed herself. Like, that's like, she obviously like needed to fucking get help before that. She shouldn't, like, if the guy said yes, hypothetically, it would have like, she still would have been like having some deep fucking issues. So she like, I don't know, she gotta get help. You know, I understand what it's like to fucking like someone or be in love with someone and it fucking doesn't work out or whatever and you get really depressed, but it doesn't obviously getting to that extent is just super dark and you need to, I don't know, messed up to do it on TV. Absolutely. And like obviously I feel bad for her. That sucks that you felt that depressed, but doing it on TV really fucked up. And yeah, I don't know. It's just it's fucked up. Needed help.
Beetlejuice makes its debut. Journey, Survivor, Guns N' Roses, and our favorite Rick Astley are on the airwaves. And over on a stand-up comedy show named An Evening at the Improv, a child actor turned musician named Corey Feldman is world premiering his latest track.
Corey Feldman? Oh, is this about him like being molested and shit?
Okay, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't
I'm
know.
gonna start the show off tonight a bit differently than usual. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna world premiere my song that I just finished writing and producing
What's up with the youth?
Michael Damian from my new movie Dream a Little Dream with Jason Robards. It's called Something in Your Eyes. I'm gonna do it right now.
Dude, Corey Feldman's music is so bad. I love him, but it's rough. Michael Jackson. Yeah, I did not expect him to pop up. Hey, he's rocking it.
As we can see, he had a mixed reaction from the audience. Clearly lip-syncing and taking inspiration from Michael Jackson, he employs dance moves in a musical style that attempts to emulate them. Upon looking through comments about him on YouTube, it's clear that history hasn't exactly been kind to Feldman. But that's beside the point. The reason I bring this video up in the first place is because, towards the song's end, Feldman's producer makes an incredibly strange cutaway to something that is very out of place for a video like this. Have a look.
You shouldn't have let it go. You should have held on.
Whoa. What the fuck? Why? What? What the fuck? Why? That's so strange.
What is this? And why is it here?
And is it real?
Nowhere in this song does Feldman make any sort of mention about a woman being bound to a pool table. And after performing a cursory scan of his other music videos, cutaways like this never happen again. This seems eerily
I wonder if Corey
out of
Feldman never
place,
said anything about
and
it.
discussion about this is painstakingly few and far between. The only mentions I could find about it were from Reddit and a few YouTube comments. However, none of them garnered much attention, and their sources are pretty much non-existent. With that being said, let's circle back to the footage so we can break it down ourselves.
It's just a black and white
As
footage.
we can see, the video of this woman was patched in post-production. Unlike the other cutaways that happened prior, this one has a different border. It's in black and white, and seems to be slightly lower quality than his music video. In the footage, we have a woman with brown or black hair tied up on each corner of the pool table, is in what appears to be a small room with a swinging light above her, and seems to be moving because of discomfort.
Yeah.
To me, this footage could be one of three things. Either it's a scene from an obscure movie, a cut of a film, or it could be from a legitimate film. Personally, I believe it's one of the first two, given how obvious this cutaway is on something that's been seen by hundreds, if not thousands, of people. If this were truly as sinister as it's been rumored, it would be a pretty stupid move to put it there. Regardless, this cutaway is one of the weirdest edits I have ever seen.
That is so weird.
And I'm still struggling to drum up a reason as to why it's there in the first place. I'm curious if you know anything about this, if you've seen it before, if you've heard about it, anything. This is a weird little mystery, and this is where I'm calling for your help. Who is the woman on the table?
The woman just replies, "It's me." The world is fucked up. The world is dark. Nexpo, that's the guy's name. Dude, that video was really well made. Jesus Christ. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Fuck it, dark.
Wish I had someone to hold. All these nights feel so cold, and I'm so tired sleeping with your ghost. And I'm so tired of sleeping with your ghost. It's not